Hello, loves. This is a long form video, but in the vertical format. So I basically combined all of the videos that I did for this cake, and I wanted to show you guys from start to finish, other than the baking, making the filling, making the buttercream, and making the fondant. But this cake doesn't have fondant, so no worries about that. Anywho, we're not just going to stare at each other in silence. Well, actually, I'm not even looking at you guys. I'm looking down at the cake. So remember way back when I asked you guys on the community page what kind of questions you would like me to answer while I post a long form video? I'm going to do that right now. So let's start with the first question from EIMES. I apologize if that's your name or an abbreviation. I am not sure. And she says, how do you manage to balance the time between family and baking when you have had huge time constraining orders? I'll tell you, it's a little bit of anxiety mixed in with some ADHD, sprinkled with some last minute procrastination. I'm just kidding, you guys. Well, not really. It's organization. I have my whole week planned out. As you guys already can tell from my videos or some that I post, Monday I bake and then I freeze the cakes. Tuesday I work on toppers. Wednesday I work on some of the cakes that are due on Thursday or Friday. Thursday and Friday I'll work on the cakes that are due for the remainder of the weekend. And Thursday and Friday I focus on the cakes with the decorating. And throw Saturday in there too for some last minute touch-ups. If I happen to skip one of those days, the entire week is screwed over. Also, my days are very structured. I wake up in the morning feeling like No, actually, we don't really like him anymore. You know what? Let's take it back. It's like Cinderella. It's like the bell tower clock. And then I say, I hear you. Get up, you say. Time to start another day. No joke, I really do say that. Or I say the famous SpongeBob quote, in which he goes, another day, another dollar. And then Squidward replies, you mean another nickel? Ah! Yeah, so I wake up and I say, another day, another nickel. Straight to get my coffee and a cup of water. Wait for me to poop, worry if I don't. Down to work out, procrastinate with that a bit. Ask myself, why am I doing this while I am squatting? Do my Rice Krispie knees really need this sort of torture on them? Ask myself, is it really worth it? I will never look like an Instagram model. Then I have to remind myself that I am getting older and I need to work on my bones and my muscle mass because, in our culture, once they get old, they just sit on the couch and rot. I swear to you, like my mother is 60 and she just sits and rots. Oh my God, I hope she gets bored because she gets bored listening to my videos. So if she's bored, she probably won't make it this far and listen to that part. If she doesn't, then I'm probably going to hear it from her. Because last time she told me I tried to watch one of your videos and you talked too much, so I got bored and I left. I was like, thanks, Mom, that's great. Anywho, complete my exercise. Then go ahead and work on whatever thing I have to do for that day, either baking, toppers, whatever it may be. Couple of hours on that. Then I go shower. Then I got to pray because, we gots to pray. We gots to pray just to make it today. Then I go back downstairs and I make dinner. Oh, and dinner is a whole nother thing. I have to plan that out on Sunday. So I literally plan out every day that I'm making food. And I have 2 days where I don't have to cook dinner because my husband stays and plays with the cards, with the boys, with the cards, with the boys. Yeah, that makes sense. Sure. So I call those fend for yourself days, or FFY. Or sometimes I make pasta or something easy. So yeah, I write out that list on Sunday and then I write out all the groceries that I need for that day. And then I go to Kroger and then I go to Sam's Club and then I go to Papaya. And then I go to Joann's to get my cake stuff if needed. Or I go to Hobby Lobby or something like that. And then I come back home dead because I'm exhausted from grocery shopping. So I always know pretty much what I'm making that day. It really does help out a lot with, structure. And then I cook and then I complain about how much I hate cooking. It's so annoying. I know, I'm sorry. If you don't like my little rants or complaining, nobody's forcing you to watch, really. Because it takes like an hour sometimes to cook, sometimes an hour and a half. And then we inhale the food in like 5 minutes. And then it takes another hour to clean up. And you guys know how I am about the cleaning. And then I rest for a little bit and then I go back downstairs and I work on some cakes again. And I've suddenly included like walking as if I need to do more in my day. And then I pray the evening prayer just to make it today. And mind you, in between all that, I'm running some errands for my son or dropping him off or picking him up or doing something, And that is how I coordinate life and cakes. Anywhere in those hours, did you hear me say I ever left the house to go to a social event or anything like that? No, my loves. You are my social events. You are when I speak to people. I do visit my mama throughout the week and whatnot. Anywho, I hope I answered your question. Next one. Hello, Dahlia Varghese. I hope I said that correctly. Please forgive me if I didn't say it. And I love that you love when I say it. I love saying it. It just comes out. But you know where it originally came from? It came from Robin Williams. God bless his heart. May he rest in peace. Allah yarhamu. I loved him. What am I saying? I love him. Now when I see him in movies, I really want to cry. So you know in Mrs. Doubtfire when he had the pie in his face, the cream, because he had to fool that person, and he looks up from over the fridge and he goes, hello! That's kind of how it initially started. If you go back all the way to my videos, like the first few ones, I always start my videos with hello. And to be honest, I don't know how loves got thrown in there, but it did. So it went from hello to hello loves. But yeah, that's it. Next up is from Kalsum Sony. You always passionate about becoming a baker? If not, what career pathway would you have chosen? Love you loads, Mimo. Love you so much. Mwah! I really do wish I can meet a lot of you guys. You know, my YouTube family is so awesome. Anywho, I think many of you know this backstory. I always baked since I was younger. So I always baked the cakes for my family and I would just use boxed cake, which I still do. But I would use like the canned frosting. I would decorate cakes out of that. But then I became a teacher. And the reason I became a teacher is because culture-wise, you guys got to remember, I'm older. You know, this was like over 25 years ago. My mama was always like, being a teacher is good for family life. Because, you know, to her and many others like her, you have succeeded in life if you have been married and had children, birthed children, learned how to make good food, traditional meals from back home, which I never really made a bunch of those. And the job, it didn't matter. But I did want to work, and so did my husband. My husband wasn't very encouraging. And really, teacher was kind of the only option because they're like, this is a good family job. You get to come home with your children, blah, 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 you know. So even though I really did want to be one as well, it's just kind of, you know, when I think about it now, it's kind of annoying that I wasn't really given another option. But anywho, I had birthed my 2 girls. One is 21 and one is 20 now, and my son is 12. And I worked in school full-time as a teacher while they were with me. And when I got pregnant with my son, I was telling my husband, because I worked at a charter school, that I didn't make much money. So I quit and I stayed home and I just, raised him. But I was bored and I'd watch Cake Boss and I was like, oh, I wish I could do that. And then lo and behold, this is what happened. Now, if I really am going to be honest here, I would love to be an artist. I would love to have gone to art school. Learned from people, practiced throughout the years. But really, there was no art school here around us where I can go. And my mama was not about to let me leave the state. And maybe I can do it now. There's just no time, you guys. By the time it's like 10 o'clock, I am exhausted. I just want to sit on the couch and let my brain rot as I watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Hope that answers your question. Hello to the lovely Mrs. Tom Collins. How do you possibly have time to take precious care of your family and home, plus a wonderful YouTube career? After all this, you've studied to be a teacher and had babies while you worked. It's amazing. You're amazing. You raised a beautiful family, Mimo. You are giving me way too much credit. You are so adorable. Thank you so much. Much love to you. I had already answered this question. I feel like it's similar to the other one. So yes, that's how it's done. And do not let me fool you, my love. It truly does get to me. You might see me in a corner rocking back and forth crying. Being like, oh my God, I can't do this. It's too much. It just keeps coming and coming nonstop. If somebody throws one more errand at me, I think I'm gonna scream. So that's where panic attacks get me, when I get overwhelmed after a time. So they just come at me, they go bam. And I feel like it's their way of telling me, you need to take a break. And I'm just like, listen, panic attack. Like, I know you're gonna go away soon, but I need you to go away right now. I'm listening. I'm gonna take a break, but I need you to go away. But I think it knows I'm lying because it'll last like a couple of days or maybe even a week. That mother fludger. And then when it finally goes away, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can breathe. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can breathe. It's beautiful. So yes, don't let me fool you, darling. Don't let me fool you. It might seem like I do it all, but it doesn't come with ease. It comes with a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And I actually mean that not just figuratively, but literally. So thank you guys so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. And there's so many other more questions. So if this does well, then I will continue to do this more often and try to go through all the questions. Love you.